Let's learn practically about storyboards in Lumira Designer, how to create storyboards, and there are other things I will be going to cover in this video practically, various filters available in this Lumira Designer and what is the difference between the filters, then how to create the storyboards, how to add different pages to the storyboard, and different components related to the charts. So this is storyboard, sample storyboard I have created, which says sales revenue year wise. So we can provide this type of chart functionality. The other is like this, which is just a simple cross tab, means which will just display the state wise or city wise sales revenue. So, and we do have some headers, so this header also we can create as a composite, and we can implement the same in this way. So let's see how this can be done. So let's create a first application which says something which is storyboard. I'm selecting a blank template. Now the first thing is we wanted to have some data sources, so I will get the data source first. First is with state and city wise sales revenue. So for that I am just adding these objects, and another data source which we'll need is year and month wise data. So we can say year, let's say quarter, and month as well, and let's take week as well. So once we have these two data source created, the first thing is to have the storyboard, like having multiple pages. There is a component in this Lumira Designer which says story. Just add this in the by just dragging and drop in the application. I will see this is how page 1 and page 2 has been created. So let's increase some bit. So top margin, it's fine. Left margin I don't want much, and width and height. Width I want something which is size of the almost browser size, and say, so this is I have just created. If you just run it just to see how it looks, the first thing is it looks like this, which says page 1 and page 2, which gives an option, uh, and there is option up as well to navigate as well from page 1 page 2 and from here. So whatever how many pages we wanted to create, we can create, and then we can add our functionality. So one page can display cross tab, the other page can display charts, various charts related information, and the other tab can contain scorecard, likewise. So this is the way how we can do it. So let's add first one cross tab here. From the data source 1. So in this sales revenue I want state and city wise data. So this is sales revenue which is going to display. Let's add a cross tab here. So this is a blank cross tab. When we wanted to reference or assign any data, then the data source, then just go to this properties of this cross tab which says data binding. You can do it from here, or you can just drag the data source from this outline to this cross tab. So this way we can do it. And now this is just a simple cross tab which has been added, and suppose we wanted to give some means flexibility to the end users to filter it out based on some state. Suppose there is too much of data on the cross tab which is displaying like very there are so many states, and they wanted to see particular city's revenue, then they don't have this option of filter here. So to make them available as a filter, we can add filters here. So there are various ways we can add filters. So the first is dimension filter, filter bar, and filter line, and filter panel. So these are the different ways, and it depends upon the requirement how we wanted to use it. But the filter line is the one which newly came in the design studio, uh, Lumira Designer, which is how it looks like. So if you say, this is how it is added, and we can assign the data source, which data source we wanted to add it. Now let's, if you run it, once we assign the data source to the filter, we'll get an option of various filters available in that this option. So we'll see city and state are the two dimensions, which is like this, and if we select this, then we can select some particular city. Suppose you wanted to see Chicago's revenue, then this can be done. So this is very effective and means easiest way, and it is much better option than the previous ones. So let's see how the previous one as well works. So if we add a dimension filter here, so this is the similar way, but it is just, let's say, ds1, and target data source is fine. Then dimension, so this is just we can suppose we wanted to filter out on state, city, then we can just add cities filter here, and if we run it now, we will have option of filtering on cities, but it is for just single dimension, means it is not, is we'll have this option, and then from here we can select like this and then filter out it. But means if you say, this option, this filter line option is very much useful, which says which will have two options, whatever the dimensions available, but however it is for this dimension filter, you'll just have one. So if you wanted to add one more, then we can add another as well. So suppose we wanted to have cities, then again we need to add another dimension, which is um, so here we again need to specify. Suppose we have state we wanted to filter out, then we need to give this option as a state, and then execute locally. So means when we wanted to filter it out, then we'll have this option of states, and whatever the values are available here. So this is how it is, but this is more having like means more effort to create these two dimensions separately, and then showing it doesn't look good. So this option is just very, I means very feasible and very efficient, I would say, means which will just add this. So means maybe users will not see means what is this. So for that, we can, what we can do, we can have one text bar here which says like this, and then means we can means it would be easy to identify for the users that this is the filters, and we can use these filters to filter out the corresponding table data. like this. So if you have this option here available, user can click on here and then see, and then once you click on this, it can filter out from here. So this way it is possible to have it. The other option of filter is filter bar as well. So there is another this filter bar which is available here, and we can have it like somewhere on the top, but let's see means if I'm just adding it here. So this is again we need to add a data source for this. So just add the data source here, and so we can give some filters here showing which dimensions we wanted to see it. So these are the thing we don't want to measure, so just remove this and we can have these options to be filtered out. So this is also again useful. All the filters will come at one go in a single dimension filter, single filter list. So but we do have this option which is here, and we need to add it filter here as. So it is something which is users need to add it, and then we can select it from here, and then we can have it, and then we need to click on OK, go. So this way it will just some override on the users to add these filters, and then click on this go. Instead means these filters are very useful, which just says just one or two click means we can get the data filter out. So still means this filter line, which is the new feature, which is good. um, Now coming to other things about this dashboard, so we'll see there are various page 1, page 2. We can add another pages. So if you wanted to have another page, we can just create another from here, or if you wanted to rename this like this, so just give some name like okay, so this is sales revenue by state, and suppose this is again we wanted to give some name like sales revenue by year. So this is again we can add another page as a story, which will just give some information, and we can first page will have cross tab format, and with various option, and in the second tab will have like all the story visualization. So let's see how we can add that as well. So for that, just go to the chart area. So let's say means we wanted to add a chart, and now we wanted to have this chart to be added for the DS2, which is month and year wise data. So we need to edit the initial view and just add these dimensions here in the rows. Okay, year, month wise, quarter wise, and so we can just drag this. So this is a simple chart type. We can configure the different chart types from here, or we can have some other chart type picker option as well here, which is available here, and we can just drag it here, and which will just show you means how which chart we need to see it means. So this is the way means go to this second tab where we wanted to see the charts. So from here we can select different chart. So maybe some other chart which will just give this information, which is year, month, quarter wise. Um, stacked area. So when we wanted to affect this chart, we need to give the chart reference, which is here, and once we give this, then the effect of other chart will come into place. So let's see how it is. See, once we change this type from here, we can change it uh, like this, or maybe having some this stacked area. So this is something which is will give some information on. So maybe some of the regional managers wanted to see the data based on their regions or some particular area, that in that situations it will be helpful. There is another component which is available, chart feeding panel. So we can add it that as well here, which will just give a feasibility to the managers or the business users to change the dimension. So let's see, means if we try to run this, we can once we add it, we can just give the chart reference, which is the chart reference, and this is the chart reference. So automatically all these options will be available, and then means users can filter out the chart data based on their need or whatever they wanted to see. Suppose users just wanted to see month wise, not the detail level, like um, quarter or year week. So in that case, we can have just these filters available, and you will see this is something which is sales revenue. And so from here also there is option of change chart type of, so we can change this chart type to some other charts uh, in the measures. So they add to secondary axis as well, we can change this to secondary axis, so it comes to on this side. So this is also possible with this chart. And these are the x and so this is color. So suppose we don't wanted to have this color, we can just move it into this side and it will show like this. If you wanted to have this quarter like this, then it is just showing a separate area. So this is something a visualization can be done based on their need. uh, so these are the options which are available for this. And then there is one more thing about header. So suppose we have multiple, like we have more than two or more than three pages here. So every time means to have a common title, a dashboard title would not be feasible to create again and again. So we can create a header, common header. So how to create? We can just create by using composites. So composites, as you know, means I have already covered in some different video where I have shown how what is composite and how to create it. So these are the composites which we can create it common as a single at single time, and then that can be used in our application. So let's say wanted to add it here. So just drag this header here. We can just align some looking like this. Like this you can do it. And for other page as well, we can just drag it, so we don't need to redesign the header. Similar way we can do it for footers as well, so whenever we wanted to do it. So this way we can have common the header and footer things which we can be created as a composite, and then that can be used as an title. So there is one more thing which I wanted to show here for the composite. So in the header, we if you have some option text overflow. So suppose whatever the we are doing means, so if it is visible, then suppose we are doing some giving name, then if it is overflowing the that particular component or the box, then it will show it on the below side as well. So let's see means, see you will see that this is has been just moved it. So you will see some of the components of this are showing below, like y is showing below, or the other component s is also showing below. So because it is like visible, the text overflow by default this property is visible only, and we can make it as false or hidden. That means it will not show the overflow text means out of that composite headers. So now I've just ran it with things. So you will see that y is not appearing means whatever the overflow hidden text is there, it will not appear out of that box. So this is something which is we can do by default. Its property is true, so that it will visible. So these are the options which we can do, and we can create various visualizations with creating different pages in the story, or we can create some different stories as a storyboard and can be designed as per our business requirement. So these are the some of the components or I wanted to show you. Hope this will be helpful for you. If you have any questions, then please put it in comment section, and if you like my video, then please like it and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you for watching.